Good evening, folks. Welcome to Lock and Load.
Welcome to a pretty serious edition of Lock and Load Radio, August 26, 2015 edition. I want to take a moment out. We're a little bit early in the show, but I want to just take a moment out and just a quick moment of silence for the victims of today's shooting, Allison Parker and
Adam Ward.
And there's a third victim, but she is in stable condition. So keep her in your thoughts and or prayers for speedy recovery. Okay, well, so if you have not heard, there was a shooting in, I believe it was Roanoke, right?
Smith Mountain Lake, south of Roanoke.
Oh, really? I didn't realize it was Smith Mountain Lake. That's a pretty rural area. Disgruntled former employee of an ABC news station, I think it was.
WBJ7.
Actually, CBS, I think. But anyway, of a local news station. Who actually was fired, as we know now, was fired, and actually was because he had anger management issues, and actually had to be escorted from the building, and apparently wrote a manifesto. Has that manifesto been released yet?
Parts of it have been discussed. I don't know that I haven't looked specifically to see if all of it was released. Okay. There's been news sites that have had bits and pieces of it. Okay. It has been turned over to the authorities as well.
Well, I guess so. But what's what are you going to do? I mean, this guy is, in a case like this, I don't think it would have mattered a damn bit. And I know it's not 9 o'clock, but I don't think it would have mattered a damn bit if he'd have never been able to get a gun. I think he would have made a Molotov cocktail. I think he would have taken a knife. I think he would have done whatever damage he could do with whatever means was available to him. I will be very interested to see how he procured the gun. I think we all will be, but at the end of the day, I don't think it matters. I don't think you could have done all kinds of things. And if he couldn't have gotten a gun, I don't think this would have stopped it. I've heard, I mean, the rumors abound on what happened and what he was doing. And I heard a rumor that he had, and I don't know this to be true, but I heard it from somebody substantive, so I will repeat the rumor, that he had actually engraved the names of the Charleston victims.
Supposedly, that's one of the things from his manifesto.
Yeah, so he clearly was determined, and as I said, I don't think it would have mattered one hill of beans if he couldn't have gotten a gun. It would have been something else, and it is far too easy. I mean, it's not like they don't have crime in England. I mean, and they
Australia,
right? And they don't have guns. So, yeah. So we could talk about that more as you all roll in.
Just keep in mind that anything that we do talk about that would be largely just conjecture based upon news reports.
Right, and we'll try.
We don't have a whole lot of information other than the fact that the shooter, whose name I will refuse to ever say,
right,
because
why
the shooter is dead. He passed away at Inova Hospital in Fairfax in the trauma center a few hours ago. The two of the three people that he shot are dead. The individual that was being interviewed is in stable condition. Yeah, I don't know that there's a whole lot more to say. I can say that I do agree with this. I've heard it in some way, shape, or form on 3 different news stations, including WTOP, which is notoriously left of center,
right,
in their main reporting efforts. But several people that have said the same thing that I think some of us have been saying for a while: stop saying their names.
Yeah,
stop posting their images.
agree.
It does, all it does is gives them what they wanted. Yes, he's dead, but what he wanted to be known for was what he did. So screw him.
Okay. Yep. So, yeah. So, and I would urge you all to think about that. When we're posting and when we're talking about this, and he can be referred to by a number of other terms. I would like to welcome Anita. We'll just leave that there. Applehead, Bolts, Joe R, and Rayman to the chat room. And I do need to say, for the record, that none of the opinions expressed on this program, or frankly on Maryland Shooters, is the opinion of any organization, company, agency, or any other group of people that we may or may not represent, unless we tell you, hey, this group said so, or I'm speaking for so-and-so when I say this. So if you don't hear that statement, we ain't speaking for him. So, I know Mike's got a job where that could be an issue, and I definitely have a job where that could be an issue. So, let us be clear. I've got my own opinion, and, yeah. So, and thank you guys. Thank you, Rain Man and MX. And I don't know who Food Poison is, but, for keeping the thread bumped up in Maryland Shooters. I would have liked to have had it up in water cooler, but the last time I tried to put it up in water cooler, somebody got grumpy and you ripped it down. You can't have it in two places. It's like, but people don't read both things. People will read the water cooler who won't read the, anyway. Okay. Yeah. I'll take that up with somebody else. So yeah, we don't know a whole lot. Obviously the manifesto has not been, released in totem. But it turns out, I was reading on Facebook, the boyfriend of the victim, Allison Parker, had just moved in together. She was 24 years old.
Yep. So I actually heard one of the on the Fox channel on Sirius when I was coming over.
Yeah.
That was saying their habit. He was at home when it happened. He got phone calls from folks at the office to tell him what had happened.
Right.
But he worked the late shift. He would come home from the late shift, sleep for a little bit, wake up, make her breakfast because she worked the morning shift, have breakfast with her, send her out the door, go back to bed.
Oh.
So, and that's what happened this morning. So.
Oh, God. Well, anyway, I mean, just sickening. Just really, 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 really sickening. But like I said, make no mistake. It is my opinion that it wouldn't have mattered. And I know Gabby Giffords is having a fit about tighter gun laws.
Terry McAuliffe was on WTOP within hours on the 10 o'clock show where he was in for Ask the Governor at 10 a.m. Mm-hmm. And one of the first things out of his mouth was, we need more gun control.
Because, that would have stopped him.
Because, let's add more laws for the criminal to break and add charges to.
Well,
he broke the law to do it in the first place.
And the fact that he wrote a manifesto, this guy was determined.
So supposedly he wrote a manifesto. Allegedly, he had also been shopping a story to ABC corporate for weeks, trying to get them to be interested in something. And the conjecture is now that this is what he was trying to get them interested in. So
you have to move your screen because nobody can see your face. You can see your eyeballs, and that's about it.
It's not like they want to see it.
People like to see your face. Fix your screen.
It's not the screen.
It is.
It's because I lean over here. Yeah, I know.
No, just put it closer to the microphone, and then
it tends to go back out anyway.
Well, fix it. You're a jarhead. Fix it. So anyway, So my thoughts and prayers are with the families of the victims, and I guess we will know more in the coming weeks. I wanted to talk about. Let me just check the chat room, make sure everybody's weighed in here. Okay.
Arkham, I can agree. I know I need more gun control too.
Right.
This hand practicing on the targets.
Yeah, I think I have a little muscle builder you gave me that I need to actually practice more with for my trigger control. Your targets. So, yeah. So I'm going to move on, and we can come back to this if you guys want to come back to it, or if people jump in the chat room and want to come back to this. We certainly can. I'm just not sure what else we can say since it's pretty much conjecture. Mike sent me a.
Oh, well, we need to intro that.
Okay. Well,
do you want to intro it, or do you want me to have somebody else intro it?
Well, let me talk about this article that NRA ILA posted. Apparently, there were 2 pages, and I only printed one, or the cat chewed up the other one. Murders in the District of Columbia are not nearly as common as they were a generation ago when the city's crack cocaine gangs and former handgun ban held sway. However, murders in D.C. are up by a third thus far in 2015 as compared by the first 8 months of last year. While the local police union faults the city's police chief, Kathy Lanier, I keep wanting to do the French pronunciation, for dismantling units that had kept drug gangs at bay, the chief is pointing an accusatory finger at guns because, guns go off all by themselves. Everything okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just somebody acknowledging a message I sent to him.
Okay.
Because he's not in the chat room.
Oh. Oh. Is he going to be?
Yes.
Good. Hi, Perrin. Lanier, thank you. I just can't see that as anything but Lanier. Lanier speculates that changes in gun laws around the country and the popularity of high-capacity magazines are responsible for DC's worsening murder situation. The theory is odd, however. As the Washington Post reports, many of DC's murders result from stabbings, not gunfire. And in 2013, the way that neighboring Maryland changed its gun laws by banning magazines holding more than 10 rounds, banning assault weapons, and requiring permits to purchase handguns. At the same time, similar gun and magazines bans were also imposed in Connecticut and New York. Now, you can intro if you wish. I just wanted to get that article done since it was timely.
I forgot that I muted so that we can get rid of the annoying whine.
Yeah. Well, then you couldn't play it.
Chief, what data are you using to determine high-capacity magazines? You referred to them several times.
I think this is Emily Miller. Oh.
Why does it do this?
Yeah, but what are you using? What data?
What is
Yeah, but what are you using? What data?
Why it keeps fading in and out.
How many have you found of those?
She's talking about extended magazines.
Let me try somewhere else. Go ahead and keep talking about it.
Okay.
I'll try to see if I can find it again.
So I believe that's actually Emily Miller. And if we can get the, just hold your microphone up to the YouTube of it, then it won't fade.
No, but then I have to unplug the microphones because we're doing the mixing and sending out the audio through this.
Oh, well, I can do it here.
So
I can do it here. So Emily Miller was, Emily Miller was, interviewing, or not interviewing, but she was having Lanier.
Chief, what data are you using to determine high-capacity magazines? You referred to them several times.
Yeah.
I really don't know why it keeps doing this.
Yeah, but what are you using? What data?
And her answer
How
is
many have you
ridiculous.
found?
Hold on. I will get it for you. Somewhere. All right. Well, let me just go to Emily Miller's page. It'll be so much faster than trying to rip through a week's worth of conversation. Here we go. All right, I got it. All right, wait. Stop. I need to get this off mute. 1 second.
What are you using? What data?
And her answer is ridiculous. Hold on. Oh, wait, that's the video. Hold on. Okay. That was my video. Okay. So here we go. This is really short, and it's.
To determine high-capacity magazines, you refer to them several times.
So I'm talking about 100-round drum magazines. That would be high capacity.
Yeah, but what are you using for
And,
data?
100-round drum magazines.
How many have you found of those?
Extended clips that are designed to enhance the normal capacity
But
of a firearm.
how many of those have you found?
So high capacity magazines are magazines that are designed to enhance the normal capacity of a firearm.
Well, in DC, they're over 10 rounds is high capacity, but your department doesn't trace high capacity or doesn't trace what kind of guns magazine size has. So I'm asking, when you say it's high capacity, where are you getting that information?
From the guns that we recovered.
That's it.
Yeah, that's her answer. So that's her data from the guns she recovers. So,
Well, but it's interesting that she does say in an on the record interview that a high capacity magazine extends the capability of the manufactured firearm. However, as Emily Miller pointed out in her thing, the District of Columbia, the state of Maryland, both say that 10 rounds is the max.
right. So 10 rounds is the max, but they're confiscating 100-round drum magazines. Anyway,
Yeah, I'd love to see that.
there have been 103 people killed so far this year in Washington, which is a 43% increase over last year.
Lanier.
Lanier hosted, I can't do it, hosted a meeting earlier this month with other big city police chiefs. And after the meeting, she called for stricter gun laws and penalties for guns with high capacity magazines. Okay. So does that mean she's going after 100-round drum magazines? I'm just curious. I think it might be fun to shoot something with 100 rounds.
It's just like I posted on Facebook earlier. Color me shocked. We have gun crime, and what do? We blame the gun instead of the idiots that are the ones who actually pull the trigger.
We don't blame the knives when people get stabbed.
Well, so there was a meme that came out
I guess there was
after the Boston Marathon bombing. Crazed man uses, pressure cookers to create bombs. We blame the bomber.
Right.
Man shoots another guy with a gun. We blame the gun.
Right.
This doesn't make any logical sense. As my good brother Gyro here says.
Yeah.
The police are now criminals. The criminals are now victims. Guns are the killers.
Yep.
Well, up is down, black is white, right is wrong.
Yeah. Well, you see, and when we get rid of this, then it'll be something else. So, listen, guys, session is coming. Okay, session is coming, and there will be good bills, and there will be bad bills, and we will be reporting on all of them. But I will need you all to stay motivated. Okay, and keep your friends motivated and keep talking about this stuff, because the more we're talking about it, the more others are talking about it. So, and we need to keep driving this discussion. So it's important. What do we got going on? I don't know what GOOC.
Well, he corrected it the line later.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry. Right. And which gun law is right? And Gyro's right. Which gun, by the way, welcome, Gyro. Nice to talk to you. And which gun laws are followed by criminals? Okay, blame my spoon for me being fat.
I like it the other way. Yeah. Guns are responsible for people killing people. Therefore, Rosie O'Donnell's fat because of spoons.
Yep. Yeah. And then after they go after the knives, then they're going to have to go after like kerosene and gasoline and matches. Matches are bad.
We can look at the
Lighters.
stupid things that the United Kingdom does, where to buy certain types of knives, they actually are locked in display cabinets, and you have to have permission to do it. And they're now talking about doing that with butter knives. A butter knife, you're going to have to have special permission to purchase a butter knife. Great.
Paperwork's in the room. Welcome, paperwork. Speaking of supporting good Second Amendment stuff, we never did talk about what we did in the last week, but I wanted to talk about the Friends of the NRA dinner that I went to in Annapolis on Saturday, where the good Senator John Astle actually bought a whole table.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But
John Astle, for those that don't know, Democrat senator.
Yeah, Blue Dog.
In the state Senate.
Yep.
A Marine.
Yep.
I actually met him and had a nice conversation with him at the bill signing.
And if you've never been to his office, really try to find a reason to go to his office, because there's lots
I've
of
never
dead
been
animals. Oh, lots of dead animals and pictures of military helicopters. There's something in there for everybody that has something to do with 2A. So very, very, very cool. Yes, sharp pointy sticks. Yes, absolutely.
And is one, we can credit him, Seth actually credited him too, with being one of the reasons why the bill that we were there for the signing of got signed. So,
Yes.
because he championed it through the Senate.
But anyway, so he was there. Ran into. I was there with the board of MSRPA. Mike was unable to make it, unfortunately, but it was like the most fun fundraiser I've ever been to, because there were no speeches. It was great. The food was good. And they had a live auction, and I actually won something, and it's from the NRA. And I wish that Shannon had been around to play in the chat room tonight, because I would have thanked her, because the first thing that's going on my wall, which won't be tomorrow, but Friday, first thing that's going up on my wall, I have to show it to you when you go downstairs, is a framed homage, if you will, to Annie Oakley. And Annie Oakley is especially near and dear to my heart, because not only is she from the Eastern Shore, but way back in the days of dial-up, when AOL was really it for internet providers, I was Andy Oakley at AOL.com. So they had this frame thing, and it has a little history and a picture and a replica of her heart shot. They would cut a piece of paper out about that big. And anyway, but then they have a recovered bullet from her gun in the frame, and it's cool. It's very cool. So that's going up on my wall. Although I will say my Mullen Lobby coffee mug with all my pens in it that used to sit on my desk in Annapolis is already on my desk. So very cool. But anyway, so we did that, and Saturday, I just sort of crashed and burned. Gyro, I haven't been able to talk to you because I have been working, but I need to update you. So I'm going to do it here. I am now running up to 28 minutes, and I ran 2.3 miles last night all by myself. It was awesome. And so I'm actually running in a 5K on Saturday for the Crumpton Volunteer Fire Department. John actually was inclined to do it, and I said, you know what? It's the fire department. The rescue monkeys and the firefighters probably could use my support. So I'm going to go kill myself on Saturday, because I've never run 3 miles. But, whatever. It'll be a good time. It's a color run and walk, so it'll be a good time. And, if I'm here next week, then I survived. But as Shannon says, it's all mental. Keep going. If it doesn't hurt, keep going. I'm afraid, though, after 3 miles, it might hurt. So a lot. So yeah. So it's been a real challenge, but I've gotten there. I have one more Thursday. Tomorrow, I have to come home and run the last day of week 8, and then I start week 9, and that's the end of the Couch to 5K. So, but apparently I'll be doing 5K before the end of the Couch to 5K. So I'm kind of excited, huh?
Good luck.
Yep. Thank you. You were busy, weren't you? You were doing stuff.
Well,
you made vegetarian chili for.
Well, yeah. So my Sundays are about to disappear again. The school year has now started enough that the church-based scouting type program that my kids are in, first meeting is this coming Sunday, and last Saturday and this coming Saturday were registration days at church, and so it's busy trying to get people signed up. Last year our club had 38 kids. This year we've already got 27 signed up after the first registration event. So for a year that is not one of the years that we go out to Oshkosh for the International Camporee, it's looking like it's going to be another year for another big club, which is going to get really interesting when we start doing camping, because the bus that the church owns is
on its last legs.
Not so much really on its last legs. It's an internal political argument about who's going to pay for it and who maintains it. And the sad reality is that if anybody's ever been familiar with commercial vehicle stuff, commercial vehicles are meant to be used. They don't do well when they sit.
Correct.
So we've got a Prevost bus, and it doesn't run up and down the road often enough. And because it's not running up and down the road often enough, you get airbag problems and air system problems and air conditioning problems. And so now everybody's complaining because nobody's using it. And there's a fight between the different organizations that have budgetary input on it. And suffice to say that the bus that our club fought to get is probably going to go by the wayside. And if you're parents and you've ever had to chaperone a trip for school or whatever, now imagine chaperoning a camping trip where you've got to corral and get 50 kids to a campsite on a Friday afternoon. And how do you do that when you don't have a 45-person bus?
I don't know how you get 50 kids there when you don't have.
We have a 12-person church van and a six-seat Suburban that also.
I was going to say, and a good friend named Gyro.
No, well, that's for mine, but yeah, I go. I have my brother from another mother that if I ever went and rented a pickup truck to take to camping weekends would reach through the computer screen and kill me.
Probably
not literally, but his basic response would be, "Why are you paying for something you could have just come over here, drop your car off, and pick up my truck?"
Like that.
But no, you just trying the logistics of trying to get 40 plus kids, 10 to 12 staff members. We own a campsite, which takes some of the pain away from doing this stuff. But the logistics of trying to get people moved around when we don't have a bus that can take 40 plus of them up there. So now we got to try to figure that out. So
Gyro says he's reserved his right to run for getting away from jealous husbands and liberals. I like it. Applehead, be careful. Jim Fix was a runner. Yes, I'm aware. But, I started walking, and then I realized that eventually I was going to go back to work. I started walking in May when I had asked for a Fitbit for Mother's Day. And I realized very quickly that, walking for 2.5 hours was probably not going to happen after I had been working for 8 hours and commuting, at least an hour in each direction. And as it turns out, more than an hour in each direction now. I started running, and I figured even if I was running 15 minutes, it would cut, a half an hour at least out of my walking. And now I'm running a half an hour. Well, 28 minutes. I love it. I stinking love it. Every time I do something I don't think I can do, it's amazing. And it isn't for everybody. I get it. I ran when I was much, much younger, but I didn't run like this. And doctor said, when they put the screws in my knee, said, you should be running. And I didn't run. Well, except for around the state house. Then I was known to haul ass in 4-inch heels. But anyway, but I thought, you know what? I'll start it. And when it starts to hurt, I'll stop. And I got little twinges here and there, but they usually work themselves out. Nothing's lasted more than an hour or so. So I love it. And the other day, you should have seen me. You'd have been laughing your ass off. So
Jim, I'm sorry. It's just one of those nights.
Sorry. I came up Lurgan, right? Came up and I had been running. And it was the first time I had run the 25-minute mark. And you and I talked about this. I just didn't think I could do it. It's just like, are you kidding me? And I came up, and it's a slight hill too. So the end of my run, I was running up what they call a hill on the Eastern Shore. When you're used to run upstairs to fill my glass. Hey, stairs count. I ran. And I knew I was in my last 30 seconds, and I was counting them down. When I got to the last 10 seconds, I'm running down the street like Rocky, man. I was like, I did it. Unfortunately, John wasn't out on the patio. Or maybe fortunately, because I don't know if I'd have lived that one down. But the point is, I done did it. And, we'll see what I get done on Saturday. But I am running in the Havre de Grace. So if any of you guys are up in Havre de Grace or nearby on October 31st, yes, Halloween, the morning of Halloween, I'm going to run out to the kitchen and get a bowl of ice cream. Bring me one. Anyway, there's a 5K run called Cats and Bats on October 31st in Havre de Grace. So if y'all are coming, please, if you all are near Havre de Grace, please come. And if you're coming, wave and cheer me on and try not to laugh. Although you can come and laugh. I'd be happy to have you anywhere I can get you. At my fitness level, I know I can count running water from my kid's bath. Yes. Well, yes, but you do give excellent advice, Gyro. You really do. So, and what I have discovered is I run better in the evening because I've been eating all day. So, or at least that's my theory.
Well, it was one of the things we did tell you. You were going to need to have a more consistent than just Cliff Bars. And
actually, you would not be happy about the way I pulled that one off last night. But I ran farther than I've ever run.
Run my lawnmower.
What? I run my lawnmower. Yeah.
I run my lawnmower too. The problem is when I run it, I'm riding on top of it.
Bolts, I can't read that out loud. He's a mess. I miss him, but he's a mess. So put that on your calendars and get your butts up to Havre de Grace, and let's have some fun. But I figured if I didn't start signing up for 5Ks, it was going to be too easy to come home at night and sit on the couch. Or better yet, sit in that chair and get on the Xbox.
I was going to say that's what I do.
Yeah, well, it's easy to do. It's been a long day, and like today was the earliest I've been home all week because yesterday they told me, "Oh, come home Route 2. So much faster. You won't regret this. You'll miss the Severn River Bridge. It'll be great." I got home. I left work at 4:30. I got home just before 7 o'clock. I was not happy.
Yeah, and what was my reaction when you said they said take Route 2?
Why? I believe you said why. So, I was listening to a former delegate turned judge and a guy who owns a business along that way. So I thought it was a good idea. At least I could say I tried it. I called my friend and said, "You owe me big." So I came home, but then I came home today and I was doing okay. It wasn't too bad. And then I got to Severn River Bridge is usually an 8-minute backup. I mean, that's just predictable. But then I got to the bridge and they closed down the right lane of the eastbound span. I'm like, really? Seriously? So, but I was here before 6, so I was happy about that. But yeah, normally the commute's not that bad, and I really like my job. So, I just wish, excuse me, it wasn't quite so early. If I go in at 9, I still have to. I think I'd still have to leave virtually at the same time, because it would take me. Because of the traffic backup on 97 it gets worse the later you go. Yep. So I might as well just leave at 7. And then I can get there and leave, 4-ish or whenever my work is done. Kid moved out of the basement. Wifey won't do it. What won't they do?
Lawn.
Oh.
Lawn care.
No. Hire a teenager. You got to have a teenager in the neighborhood.
Have you met teenagers that actually want to work and mow lawns?
Yeah.
Ain't any in my neighborhood.
No, well, Lily doesn't want to do it, but she doesn't want to do anything. But no, the kids down here, they're awesome. So, Walmart stopped selling MSRs and some semi-automatic shotguns. Gone, baby, gone. Walmarts are phasing out modern sporting rifles and some semi-automatic rifles. This is according to BearingArms.com, posted by Bob Owens yesterday. afternoon. Walmart's senior director for corporate communications, Corey Lundberg, has confirmed rumors that Walmart will no longer be stocking modern sporting rifles such as the AR-15, nor semi-automatic shotguns with a magazine of capacity of 7 or more rounds. Those would be tactical shotguns, right?
Did it say shotguns more than 7
It
rounds?
says, nor semi-automatic shotguns with a magazine capacity of 7 or more rounds. Because
Okay.
you can't hunt with those. So
Well, yeah.
I'm thinking those are tactical. Lundberg states that the politics played no role in the chain's decision to stop selling the rifles and shotguns, and that it was purely a business decision because, you know, the AR-15 isn't the number one selling. Oh, I'm sorry. Was I being snarky? Not all Walmart stores carry firearms, and those that do typically tend to sell much higher volumes of entry-level bolt-action rifles, lever-action, centerfire rifles, single-shot shotguns, and pump-action shotguns. Single-shot shotguns? Single shot?
Okay. I don't shoot shotguns, so I wouldn't know.
Somebody's going to have to explain that to me because I've never seen a single-shot shotgun. So I will wait for you all to catch up in the chat room. Wake up, Andy. Yeah, I know. I am a policy director. Oh, hey, wait a minute. Come back. Okay. I'm a policy director. I got picked up as a policy director and I love it. So it is I'm working at Dollar. So and I love it. But I do not speak for them. So let's just be
how long it was
clear.
going to be before that one came out.
Well, I would never want any of my people to think that I am speaking for people I shouldn't be speaking for. So, but yes, so that's why I'm a little tired. Yes. And that Molly has been very cranky at night. So, in place of the discontinued modern sporting rifles and shotguns, Walmart will bring in other models of economical firearms to match the hunting-driven fall product mix. Oh, that's good to know. Oh, I have to tell you. So they had this. Oh, I don't have my purse. They had this turkey at the NRA dinner, and you go and you pull a knife out of the styrofoam ball or whatever the hell it is, and it has a ticket on it. Right? Did they tell you the story?
No.
Oh my God. All right. So what you guys don't know is I sit on the board at, you guys know this part. I sit on the board of MSRPA. I happen to sit on the board of MSRPA with someone I went to high school with, but we graduated high school and I never saw him again until MSRPA. So Greg sits on the board. Well, so Greg was there, his son was there, his parents were there, his son's girlfriend were there. So it was great. And then a bunch of the board members, and it was just a really nice time. So I go over and it's, $20 and you get to keep the knife. And what the hell? It says NRA on it. And I'm very happy. I got my little folding knife and it sits in my purse and, I like it. So now I have a knife, which I didn't have before. So now when I need a knife, I'll have one.
Okay.
Okay. So it makes me happy. And since I have a badge, I don't have to go through the magnetometer. So life is good. And it is Baltimore, So anyway, so I pulled the knife. I pulled a knife out of the turkey, and of course, attached to the knife is half a ticket. And my number is like 303,003. Okay. Okay. No problem. So they finish with the silent raffle, and everybody goes, okay, you guys won this. Okay, so now we're going to draw. And I come back in because I knew I had lost everything in the silent raffle that I've been on. And I come back in and I pull out my ticket. 303,004. It was either, and you got to choose between a Beretta shotgun, not the AX400, but I think it's the A300, and a Savage rifle with the scope. Do you know who got it?
Greg.
Greg's father. So I couldn't be too upset, but I said to Greg, so is that your Christmas present? He goes, working on it. So that was a lot of fun. Yeah. So I got it.
All right, ears. I didn't know that you shot trap.
Who shoots trap?
Ears.
Ears.
Gyro.
Huh?
Gyro.
Oh. Well, when's he taking us?
He probably needs to find someplace. So Bolts and Perrin were
Well, he
answering
can come
your
here.
Bolts, Perrin, and Joe R all had and Rain Man all had answers for your single shot shotgun.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed it. What did they say? 'Cause I'm
Let's
trying to
see.
catch up. And
Bolts replied with an H&R topper. Perrin replied with trap guns, and then Joe R and Rain Man both referenced the Browning BT-99.
Hold up, Perrin, trap guns? Because like that's not what you taught me on. So, questions about that. Okay, yeah, over and under. But an over and under would not be a single shot shotgun. You put 2 shells in there. Just saying. And yes, punching holes in the sky, big fun. Big fun. We need to take Mike. So we can go to AGC actually. And do that, or we can or you guys can come over here and we can go to Pintail, which is lovely, and Schrader's, which is also over here. Somebody was going to organize a day out for us, but nobody ever actually jumped on volunteering to do that. So would be nice if we could do that. I'd use my Remington Spartan 310 over and under for trap. I'd say the Walmart crowd, the H&R topper is better known than the BT-99.
Well, the BT-99 costs $1,400, so yeah, probably.
Oh, that's what the Silver Pigeon is, right? It's a trap gun, I think. And I think
Yes.
that's the one. That's the one that Shannon wants.
Yes.
And I want the Montefeltro. It's pretty. It's really pretty, but she's fairly serious about her trap. So trap ski, yeah, it's lovely. But look at the Montefeltro. Look up the Montefeltro. You'll be impressed. It's lovely. Can only shoot 1 barrel at a time, classed as a single shot. Really? I did not know that. Yes, okay. Technically, I was shooting skeet. And why? I'm not worthy to touch your $4,000 trap gun? Seriously? I am not worthy? You do not love me? Perrin, I am deeply disappointed in you. Okay, well, all I know is she wants it. But I want the Montefeltro, and that is not a field gun. I have been told absolutely not. You do not hunt with that. That is because of all the engraving on it. And I'm like, well, that's why you clean it. Speaking of which, I probably should clean my shotgun.
There's no engraving on this.
Look at the silver Montefeltro.
Okay.
It ain't a cheap gun. Sorry, we were shooting wobble trap because yes, I remember very clearly that we were shooting wobble trap and that there was a tremendous rain coming down. And it was the only way we were going to get done, but it was a lot of fun. But gee, Perrin, I didn't know I wasn't worthy. So anyway,
I think the one you're looking at is the Vinci.
No,
Super Vinci.
no, I think it's called the Silver Montefeltro.
Ethos.
No, I think it's called the Silver Montefeltro. Talk about one of your articles.
Montefeltro Silver.
See, now look up.
Well, you want me to look up something that you want me to talk about?
Well, no, I was going to look it up for you, but take a look at the engraving on that thing. I mean, it is freaking gorgeous. So I want one. So, and it's how much is it these days?
$1,800.
Yeah. So, yeah. Actually, I have a job now. Honey.
And they are actually showing somebody out in a field with it.
I know. So you see, I could have it and goose hunt with it. All right. So Gyro and Perrin and anybody else that wants to go, we need to go. We need to go out on a weekend and shoot things in the sky. I don't know how we're going to get you out there, but we're going to have to work it out. You're just going to have to deal. Field gun means designed for upland hunting. Yes, I understood that, dear. I did understand that. I have been hunting for quite a while. Not in Alabama. I'm not that special. But anyway, I don't hand anyone my high-end guns to teach them. Well, that makes sense. They would feel horrible if they damaged it. No, but you are such an excellent teacher that I took to it like a duck to water. So, hence the AX400 I got for Christmas 2 months later. So, you still have a Luger for sale. You know what? You talk to John, okay? Talk to John. You want his phone number? I'll give you his phone number, okay? I love you, Perrin. Don't want your Luger. I'm interested in punching holes in the sky. I'm interested in punching holes in deer, punching holes in ducks, and punching holes in geese. Preferably more than once. Meaning more than one weekend, not more than once in one critter. Actually, I thought he told my dad. I don't think I told you this, but dad said, "Well, I guess we're not going hunting this year." And I said, "No, it is your job because you are retired to get online and find us someplace either in Virginia or North Carolina that can accommodate you because he's got some serious walking issues. He can walk. He can walk. He just can't walk far. So he needs a ground blind because he can't climb a ladder. So I told him, get online, find one of those places that like caters to the like the disabled vets, right? Because they'll be able to deal with Dad, you know, and his issues, and find some place that's commutable. Like we could leave on a Friday, hunt all day Saturday, maybe hunt Sunday morning, and then come home Sunday night. And then I could go to work on Monday. Or I don't know, maybe we could schedule it for when I was off on a Monday, and you know, so hunt all day Sunday and come back Monday. So find someplace. I'm waiting. I suspect at 81, I will be waiting quite a while. So God bless him. So yes, PG Trap one afternoon next week would work for me. Okay. Well, see, afternoons don't really exist for me because I don't leave Baltimore until absolutely at the earliest 4:00, and that assumes I get there on time. So yes, I can't take leave, but if you can do it on a weekend, or if you know where there is a lighted trap field, we could do that.
Or I'm sure our good friend, the legislative vice president, would probably recommend either Baltimore Fish and Game or...
Is that lit?
I don't know if it's lit, but it's not that far from Baltimore.
Oh, that'd be good.
Or AGC, which is also not that far from Baltimore.
I could totally get a room. That's not a problem. I just need... yes, my dad does live in Maryland. He does live in Maryland, lives 10 miles down the road. But he literally, so when we used to have a farm, and this was before his walking got really bad. But he had an ATV. So he would drive the truck up to the barn, walk to the ATV, get on the ATV, and we would go to the deer stand. Now, sometimes he'd drop me off at the base of a tree, and sometimes I'd hunt in the stand with him because they built these stands that were like freaking condos. I mean, they were like, you know, hey, roofs and walls and stuff I was just not accustomed to. But he had a friend who would build him stairs. Now he can't even do the stairs anymore. But at that time he could. So we would walk up the stairs and sit in office chairs, and it was great. But we drove the ATV right out to the stand because even then he couldn't walk long distances. And the deer were used to it on that property because they were all over the field all summer long on these ATVs, just riding around. And, you know, they were used to the pipe, my dad's pipe, and this, that, and the other thing. So it was no problem. But yeah, so he's got, basically he needs to be driven right to the hunting point. And he's good. He can sit forever. But some friends of his took him out goose hunting, I think 2 years ago, and he had a ball. But they were nice enough to drive him right to the blind. So and it was who has lights? PG Trap? Oh, okay. I still think we should do it on a weekend. Would be much easier. Wouldn't be nearly as tired the next day. Friend owns property in Frederick County. He could be driven right up to the blind and dropped off. Oh, Perham, we need to talk about that. We definitely need to talk about that. You know, and maybe we'll drag Mike along. San Jose woman sues city police for access, sues the city and police for access to her guns. It's an interesting situation. I watched the video on this. This article is, NBC, NBC Bay Area. And it's by Michelle Roberts. She's suing the city because her husband, she is free to buy a firearm, but her husband isn't allowed to own any weapons for another 2 years following a psychiatric hold. Even though they live in the same house, her lawyers argue she should be allowed to access to guns if she follows the required safety precautions. The city said the case really is a safety issue and is about protecting people. But Rodriguez, the owner of 12 guns, says she has followed the law and wants her guns back. I don't blame her. Rodriguez and her lawyer, Don Kilmer, are suing the city and the San Jose Police Department to get the guns back following 2013 incident in which her husband was held for psychiatric evaluation. Because of that incident, he's not legally allowed access to weapons. That doesn't mean she gives up her right to have a gun, as long as she follows California's law that is to use a gun safe. But the city attorney disagrees, and last year a superior court ruled in the city's favor, and of course the city attorney says, we're going to persevere. Yes, we're acting out of an abundance of caution. We're concerned about someone having access to firearms who shouldn't. And that putting the guns in a locked safe doesn't prevent Mr. Rodriguez from gaining access. Well, it does if he doesn't have the code. Unless he's a safecracker. I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe I was just, so anyway, so we'll see what happens with that. I'd be curious to know if any of the gun groups are involved in that.
Well, it's California, so it would be right in SAF's backyard too.
Oh, there you go. But not Alan Gura, because he's here. Formula One champion ordered to remove Instagram post with AR-15. Formula One champion Lewis Hamilton removed a video and photographs of him shooting an AR-15 from Instagram after his race boss, Niki Lauda, ordered him to take them down. The video showed Hamilton wearing ear and eye protection while shooting an AR-15 at a target downrange, but some Formula One fans reacted negatively because the video appeared just after a gunman, this is in quotes, just after a gunman, end quote, illegally used a different kind of gun to carry out an attack on a train in France. I thought Formula One was U.S. stuff.
No, Formula One's an international sport. Kart is the U.S. version. But Formula One is raced in the U.S. as well.
Okay. According to Mail Online car sponsor, Mercedes addressed the video and photographs without criticizing Hamilton, suggesting he pay better attention to what is happening out there in the world. But some Formula One fans were not so forgiving. For example, the Mail cites readers from the Sunday Mirror, which is apparently some big paper, who responded to the video and photographs by writing F-bomb. You are a fool. Take a police car and leave F1. I don't know what F1 means, but okay.
F1 is Formula One.
Oh, I got it. Another wrote, now Lewis Hamilton, a role model for youth, published a video with him shooting rifles with pleasure. Come on, champ. That is not cool. Sorry, shooting rifles with pleasure is not cool. My daughter thinks it is, and I think it is, and okay, whatever. Anyway, but Hamilton made no excuses. He responded to the criticism by saying, I went to the shooting range, shot some fun targets. It was a lot of fun. I think it's unfortunate, but whatever. I'm going to save that one for last because I teased with that. Martin Scorsese backs plan to destroy real guns when filming fake ones. The director adds his support to a campaign begun by a British artist who wants the film industry to help tackle gun violence. Really? Wait, Martin Scorsese, didn't he do things like The Godfather?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. Martin Scorsese has added his support to a new idea by British artist who wants filmmakers to destroy real guns every time fake ones are used on screen. The plan, entitled the Gun Neutral Campaign, was created by Carl McGraw. Scorsese's next film as a producer Tomorrow, that's the name of the film, starring Stephen Fry, is a drama about a soldier with PTSD, and McCrory's plan was implemented throughout its production. I'm really pleased, McCrory said to The Independent. Okay, I don't know who The Independent is, but anyway, if it's some newspaper, if we can set this as a standard, then who knows how many lives could be saved. The simple fact is that there are too many guns and they ruin people's lives every day. They also defend people's lives, but I guess we don't want to talk about that.
And they also lead to, people like Martin Scorsese making millions.
Hello. McCrory has likened the campaign to a carbon offsetting scheme that has seen trees planted and other environmental investment for global well-being. So this is like global warming. Hey, okay. There are too many guns out there. Liam Neeson criticized the number of weapons in the United States. Too many guns out there, Neeson said, especially in America. I think the population is like 320 million. That there's over 300 million guns. I would love to know where he got that number. I mean, I'm not saying he's wrong. I'd just like to know. Privately owned in America. I think it's a disgrace. Every week now we're picking up a newspaper and seeing yet another few kids have been killed in schools. In schools. But not everyone in the industry agrees. In June, Vince Vaughn sparked controversy after he said he supported people having a gun in public, full stop. I love Vince Vaughn. Love, 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 love. Here's the second page to the Kathy Lanier.
Lanier, you said it right.
Okay. Article. Oh, well, anyway. And my last thing for the, I know. Very disappointing because Liam Neeson has made what?
Why don't we
bazillions?
Why don't we tax Follywood every time they use a gun in a movie?
I like that. I like that. And you know what? If Liam Neeson doesn't like guns, then maybe he should stop using them in his pictures and stop agreeing to do pictures where there are guns portrayed. Oh, wait, we don't want to do that. Okay. Anyway, in lieu of destroying the guns, they could give them to me. They would be cleaned, well cared for. Yes, see, I'm down with this Gyro.
Yeah, because Gyro gets to the range so often.
But we're going to fix that. We're going to fix that.
I know, I'm picking on him because the last couple of times that our other brother and I have wanted to go to the range, he's had something to do.
Well, he's been a little busy.
Like building the Death Star.
You know what? He did not comment on my post on his Facebook.
He doesn't get on Facebook that much.
Well, maybe he should go pay attention for when people post things to his Facebook because, I might have to post things that he wouldn't appreciate just to get his attention. And yes, I've been known to do that. Just saying. By the way, you will not be watching. Nobody in this crowd will be watching their movies of Liam Neeson or Martin Scorsese at Regal theaters anymore. I'll bet you this crowd will never go to another Regal theater. Headline from Breitbart.com. Regal theaters checking purses, bags to ensure law-abiding citizens unarmed in reaction to firearm-related attacks at gun-free theaters in Aurora. Okay? And Lafayette. Regal Entertainment Group has gone from simply borrowing them to checking your purses. Wait.
No, they've always reserved. They go on to say they've always reserved the right to check for
backpacks and bags.
Yeah, well, any carried-in item like that. Yes, they've always reserved the right to inspect
but
it
they've never done
to get you to buy their candy and crap. But
in 2013, Regal Theaters sent an email to Second Amendment check confirming that the theater chain's ban on guns for self-defense applied to any law-abiding citizens other than law enforcement. Now they are treating law-abiding citizens like criminals and subjecting them to searches before allowing them to watch a movie. First of all, a couple of notes here.
By the way, MLB and NFL do the same thing at their stadiums.
Okay, hold on. Couple of notes here. I like Breitbart, but they could have written this better. Because you're assuming that everybody that's going to watch a movie is a law-abiding citizen. They may not be. Okay, they may not go in and shoot up the theater, but that doesn't make them
innocent until proven guilty.
No. But I'm just saying, this assumes that drug dealers don't go see movies. I'm just saying. Okay, so I don't like the way I don't care. Grammar Nazi alert.
RCAM. My
Don't-
home theater allows open carry.
See, there you go. And this is why I don't go to the movie theater. But because it's ridiculous. You pay $20, and although there's a pretty neat movie theater down in Middletown that is more like your living room than it is a
Well,
movie
a lot
theater.
of Regals are like that too. But
Well, if the one in Middletown is Regal, I won't be going there. Just like I don't buy Levi's. Yes, and I don't buy Levi's, and you should not be buying Levi's either because they give an awful lot of money to gun control organizations. So stop buying Levi's. Go buy Wranglers. Go ahead. I'm just saying. It's been that way for years. I stopped buying Ben and Jerry's for the same reason. And I like Ben and Jerry's, but I'm not giving them money.
all right. So local interest story that goes back to. Sorry, trying to keep from sneezing. Goes back to a former home of ours. You know, the lovely place where we've been trying to tell people that they need to remember the session's coming up and we'll need to go spend some time there again.
Naptown!
So from the Baltimore Brew and among other places, this one's article by Danielle Sweeney, August 24th. Questions about police and guns in school. Not going to read the article because I really just don't care to read the article specifically. But what they're talking about is, the fact that the Baltimore City Public Schools has their own police department. They're a fully licensed
I did not know
and
that.
accredited police organization within the state.
Did not know that.
Well, there was a bill last year, and the bill last year was to allow them to carry their firearms in a school, period.
But they're police.
Yes.
I mean, they're actually
But the way that
trained police.
the way their charter was written and the way the Baltimore City law was written, the only place a Baltimore City Public Schools police officer is allowed to carry is in the school said police officer is permanently assigned to.
Uh-huh.
There are only 7 permanently assigned police officers. The force is 75 police officers, but only 7 of them are assigned to a specific school.
Oh my
So this was to
God.
allow them to say we could have our officers patrolling multiple schools. And this was a bill that you know, I remember when it came out, or when we were looking at it, there were some interesting questions about it. But when you looked into the actual back end of how the Baltimore City ordinances
Uh-huh.
and the charter for the department are written, they needed the law to be passed. It got withdrawn. So now what they've decided to do is, instead of assigning more officers to individual schools, there are only 7 officers assigned to any schools. The other 68 officers will patrol outside the school grounds because technically they can't carry on school grounds.
God. And these
or
are
in
like
the school
fully
building.
trained police officers.
They are accredited police officers. One of the public comments that they received back was they were worried about that the police officers would be used to back up Baltimore City. To which the chief basically responded, well, we do have a memorandum of understanding, MOU, with the Baltimore City Police Department, and it's twofold. We will respond anytime there's a signal 13, officer down. That's standard. Any police officer who hears an officer down call come over the radio is going to respond to wherever that is.
Right.
You know, but the person I know that is a Baltimore City police officer, if he had his radio with him and heard it when he was off duty, would be going wherever it
Of
was.
course.
Just because signal 13, it means also it. They also are, because they are a subordinate agency within the city, if there are cases like the riots or anything else, they can be called upon to do other duties. But it's just interesting that now people are complaining that, oh, there's no police officers in our schools. Oh my God. Well, if you had gotten involved and talked to your legislators and talked about the issues, maybe you would have found out something.
Or, you know, listen to our show. See, listening to our show has its benefits.
I have another story, but I'll tell you that one offline because that's not one that
okay.
I can share here.
Okay.
So 2 others. This one's interesting. I'll save the other one for last.
Okay.
This one you're missing page 1 and 3.
Well,
You have page 2 and page 3. This one you have Page 1 of 8.
Well, it's probably the cat gets into the printer, and that's why they're all wrinkled. Did you read these articles?
Yeah, I know enough
Okay,
about
so
them.
talk about 'em.
So one of the other articles from AP Newsbreak, it's actually probably, if I remember correctly, this is an NRA ILA feed as well.
It should say at the bottom.
Well, no, it doesn't. This is from abcnews.go.com.
Oh, there you go.
But it's an AP News story. The lovely anti-gun establishment
Yes.
is all up in arms. You know what they're up in arms about?
Now,
The fact that the state of Indiana National Guard is allowing the NRA
I did read this.
to provide them with, oh my God, training.
Yeah.
Training in the proper use of firearms in multiple cases, specifically in the case of being able to carry firearms and the logistics around that. I'm sorry, the NRA was founded as an educational organization. So it's one of those things. The NRA has had a core mission for a while, whether you like the NRA or not. And I know there are lots of people in our boards and our chat rooms that love them. There are lots of people that hate them. But they are an educational institution, and they provide a lot of education to law enforcement, to military personnel. A lot of the training that they provide, their instructors are providing at low cost, and other things. But it's just funny. We've become evil because we're training people.
Yes. Well, you know.
Yeah, that's a new one. Your cat ate your homework.
I'm just saying. Okay. Hey. Just saying.
And it's at parent. It's not a cat.
No, it is.
What?
It's only Frosty.
Oh, okay.
It is only Frosty that screws with the printer. So,
And lastly,
I don't think it did, but hold on, let me look again. No, because I'm looking at it. I'm watching the video feed through Mike's phone, actually, his hotspot. So we're not even on broadband.
well, we're presenting on broadband, so we're presenting through your house.
Okay, well, you're presenting.
You're not watching from the same place that it's being fed.
Right, but that's what they're seeing.
Yeah.
And they're saying that there's a problem. So I don't know what they're seeing.
It could every now and then. It depends on what's going on in the network. So I don't know.
Okay.
All right. Last one from Breitbart. Dateline of 21 August by R. Hawkins. Alabama sheriff says he should have the final say on concealed carry permits. And I'll read the biggest quote from in here about why he says this. Alabama is one of 40 shall issue states, and one of our friends in the chat room here should like hearing this one. Russell County Sheriff Heath Taylor, Democrat, is taking a stand against Alabama's shall issue statute by arguing that he and other sheriffs should have the final say on who gets concealed carry permits, regardless of background checks and other compulsory steps that are part of the concealed permit application process. One of the biggest quotes in here is from the article, according to Yellowhammer News, when Taylor addressed the Alabama Sheriff's Association this week, he said, quote, "We know things that the computer can't tell us. We know things about our citizens. We know who's going through a divorce. We know who's in a bad time, who may be drinking too much, who may be abusive, but hasn't necessarily crossed the line of a crime. But in our opinion, they don't need a pistol permit." I'm sorry, you're in a shall issue state.
Yeah.
And therefore, if I am not a prohibited person,
Right.
none of those things make me prohibited. None of those things guarantee that I'm going to act out or you're going to act out or anything along those lines. None of them guarantee it.
Right. No, I was just kidding.
So,
yes, Bolts, he did have a GoPro. And the dirtbag from today did have a GoPro.
no, well, I don't know if it was a GoPro.
Well, yeah, we don't know.
We don't know
that
what device it was
brand.
used, but yes, he did actually post to Twitter what he did. Yes,
Yeah.
that is the video.
That is the first person.
He posted from his point of view, him doing the activity.
Yeah. So and it is clearly some sort of, and I hate to say, Mike's absolutely right. We shouldn't say GoPro because that could be the wrong brand, and then we're tagging the brand, and we don't want to do that because and it's not even if it was a GoPro, it's a GoPro's fault that an idiot bought their product.
Perrin, I absolutely agree. The video, whether the video should be taken down or not, is subject of what your opinion is on new stuff. But what's after 9 o'clock? The piece of shit's getting exactly what he wants every time someone watches it. His parents' quote. Yep. I agree with it. Like I said earlier in the show, there are actually some newsies that are finally getting around to.
Morpheus.
Hey, stop saying their names. Stop bringing up the other incidents. One of the guys on Fox News today brought up, he goes, we don't talk. Specifically, the media refuses to talk about teen suicides when they happen. Why? Because we don't want copycats.
Right.
So why the hell do we vilify objectify?
No, you're right. Yeah,
we should be vilifying them, but
right.
we're inadvertently hero worshiping them every time we say their name, every time we talk about what they did. I don't listen to Hannity very much. I happen to be flipping through radio stations today and happen to hear Hannity talking to Peggy Hubbard, the internet thing that's been going around, the black woman that had the diatribe about against the Black Lives Matters movement, laced with F-bombs, and she went off, but his comment in interviewing her was, we don't remember the names. We remember the names of the guys who do this crap, and we don't remember the names of the victims. For example, the 9-year-old girl that just lost her life while she was studying in her bedroom. Nobody knows the name, but because the guy that ended up killing her was shot by a cop because of something else that he did, we're talking about that guy, but we're not talking about the girl that died.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous. Lots of comments about the Scorsese and his and his nonsense. Scorsese did the Godfather trilogy. Didn't he do the Pacino one? Say hello to my little friend.
Scarface?
Yeah, I thought he did.
I don't know.
I mean, he's made a lot of money off some very violent movies. Let's just put it that way.
No, Scarface was Brian De Palma.
Oh, there you go. And yet, and Morpheus, you know what? You could be nicer to me. Okay? Really? Seriously? Yeah. So
yes, we should be talking more about the unfortunate folks that lost their lives today, not the jackass that did it.
This has nothing to do with Second Amendment, but we do politics here. Just an interesting point of discussion, particularly.
We do politics?
We do politics. We do politics.
Politics can be doo-doo.
That's true. Yes. Okay. Peter Fancho has a article that appeared in yesterday's. Actually, yeah. No, I'm gonna look at it. It says Herald Mail, but I thought it went out in the Baltimore Sun too, but I could be wrong. And he makes a compelling case, and I saw a reference to this in another paper. And okay, so the case is for starting school after Labor Day. Yep. Okay, so that's what this is about. Okay, worked for us. We all went to school after Labor Day, and it worked out just fine. And we were out of school, first week in June. But we don't do that anymore. Well, I don't remember which paper it was, but the headline, instead of saying, Francho wants school to start after Labor Day, Francho wants children to go to school until July. Seriously. I saw that headline. It's like, okay, here's the deal. Okay, let me just give you the inside scoop. Take your kid's calendar, or if you don't have any kids in the house anymore, go to your county school board's website and count up all the professional days. Okay? And then figure it out.
Well, it's, what we look at, though, in this article, even the Baltimore Sun article even pulls it out, that it's late June, early July because of all the snow days. The 180-day requirement for the school year. Well, guess what? 180-day requirement is pretty standard across the country. and the high number of snow days. Okay.
But if you don't use them,
Well, the bad thing about that is in the past couple of years we've had to, but
right?
yes, I can look at it and go, there's a lot of days when I drive by the schools. I drive by once I get on local roads,
Yeah.
I drive by a high school and an elementary school right before I get to my house. And I am constantly amazed by two things. One, how many days off there are,
Yep.
because my kids are homeschooled. So, they get a day off when their mother feels like giving them a day off.
Well, because there's smaller classes and homeschooling is much more focused on the individual.
Yes. But there's two things that amuse me is how many days off they actually have as professional days. And it's not just days off, but half days. And to me, the half days are almost worse because that makes
Then it makes the
the
teachers
planning.
babysitters.
Well, that plus the planning that the adults in the response, those that are the responsible parents
Night,
have
Gyro.
to do. What,
He's
did you
logging
leave?
out. He left. Don't worry about it. He doesn't like you anymore.
No, he's got to work early.
I know.
But the two things that amuse me is the number of professional days and half days that they have, and just the odd coincidence lately. Gee, we were in the middle of summer, and I saw the white van a lot, right in the last block before my house.
What?
There's a white van, Howard County's little speed enforcement van. When
Oh, yeah.
school's not in session.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, please.
Now that
please.
school's in session, we'll barely ever see the damn thing again.
No, look, Morpheus, to be fair, look, when I was in school, now granted I went to Catholic schools, but my friends had very similar schedules. We had, Christmas week and New Year's, and we went back usually the Monday after New Year's, however that fell. And then we had off. Yes, we all were off for election day. We were off.
Well, election day makes sense.
A
That's
week
a
at
government building.
Right. We were off a week at Easter, sometimes a week and a half, depending. And then, the odd holiday, the Thanksgiving or whatever. But the bottom line is 180 days also breaks down into so many hours, and they can quantify that. So, if you're, and Peter Francho's argument is, look, with all of the resort and summertime businesses, when you're sending kids, a lot of the kids went back to school this week.
Yeah, Howard County went back Monday.
Our kids don't go back till next week. But and some of them went back the week before in the state. So all of those kids have impacted the businesses, these resort businesses. And whether it's a golf course, and everybody's got at least one of those in their community. So I think his point is well taken. I don't have a problem with it. And frankly, if it's a problem, then lengthen the school day by 15 minutes.
Well, so there's also Anita posted up in the chat room about starting schools later because we would have less snow days because we would allow the snow crews to actually get out and do the job. But there's also some calls lately that from several research sources showing a later school day, especially for the high school age students, would actually be beneficial because while those of us that have teenagers, and those of us that actually admit what our teenage lives were like, we all thought we were Supermen and we could stay up late and wouldn't matter when we got up.
Right.
We'd be functional, but those of us that have teenagers know that they're not. I can look back and go, even today I can look at it and go, I'm not as functional at the office at 8 o'clock as I am at 10 o'clock.
Right.
But
that's what coffee's for, but you don't drink coffee.
Cold caffeine.
Yeah. Actually, Morpheus, we had energy. I went to what is now Archbishop Spalding, and every year in February, the week of my birthday, actually, it was Energy Conservation Week, and they shut the school down, shut the boilers down, and school was closed. It also seemed to coincide with some of the biggest snowstorms we've ever had. So I don't know, but the problem is if you send, and I'm a big proponent for later start times for the kids, but here's the thing: the high schools in just about every county I know about start before the elementary schools.
Yes.
Okay. So that, and I'm sure you
It's
understand this.
typically an
Because
hour. It's an
the-
hour before the
right,
middle schools and
because-
an hour before the elementary schools because the buses recycle.
Well, not just that, but a lot of times the high schoolers have to be home to get the younger ones off the bus. Because if a child is younger than 13, or actually I think it's 10, but if the child, but a younger child who can't be home alone needs the teenager. So the high schools have to start before the middle schools. So that means if the high school starts at, like, I think our high school starts at like 7:30. So our elementary schools can't start till 8:30. So if you start the high schools at 8:30, that means the elementary schools don't start until 9:30. Now, I personally don't have a problem with that, but that's easy for me to say. My daughter is 13, and I would tell her, if you missed the bus, if John didn't work from home, you missed a bus, it's your ass. So, I think it's a great idea, but I can imagine, like, if John and I were both working out of the house and Lily was like 6, that 9:30 would be damned inconvenient.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what I would do, but anyway. The answer is easy. Bad children. Oh my God. Perrin, you're a hot mess. All right. Au revoir. Yes. Au revoir. This has been the August 26th edition of Lock and Load. Thank you very, very much for tuning in. And do you have anything?
Nope.
No?
I have
Okay.
nothing to go on
All
tonight.
right. We're going to have to do better about that. What is so magical about 180 days? Look at the lack of productivity at the very beginning, the very end of the year. We could cut 10 days off. Yet, no, Morpheus, that isn't going to work. Because there's always going to be a beginning of the year, and there's always going to be an end. And if you chopped off 10 days, you're still going to have a beginning of the year where the kids' brains, you're going to have to do review and this and that and the other thing. I don't know why.
Well, there's actually a better argument for why don't we have year-round school, but
Correct. Yeah, and I don't have a problem with that. I actually think year-round schooling is a pretty damn good idea. Ban the children. It's for the children. HPRB, what would you like me to say, Applehead? There's a meeting coming up?
Well, yeah, so the only thing we could say would be there's a meeting coming up next Tuesday.
And is it in Glen Burnie?
I don't know.
Okay. September 1st at 6 p.m., but we don't know where. Pinocchio and his friends are out one day. They see a World's Biggest Liar comp. An old comp. He enters. After 30 minutes, he comes out totally befuddled. What happened? They ask. I lost. Who the hell is Hillary Clinton? I don't get it.
So according to the website, it is still on
Reisterstown Road. Okay. Yes, I have to get up early, but not quite as early as Perrin. But thank you, Perrin, for tuning in. Thank you all for tuning in. And Anita and Apple and Arkham and Bolt and Chris and Joe and Morpheus, you damn troublemaker. Paperwork, Perrin and Rayman, thank you very, very much. And we will see you next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Night, guys.
Good night.